Hello all and welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to give you a run through of one of my top 5 games, Industry, and there's a designer there and brought to you by Rio Grande and Astari Games. Now I recently did an overview on this game, so if you want a shorter video go and check that one out, and today the run through will be just on my own, pretending to be these 4 players here. Now a quick recap: this game takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours typically. It plays 3 to 4 players and it's probably like a light to medium weight game, and essentially you are trying to purchase these factories on the board, technologies, and you're going to be going through these 5 areas. I'll hopefully go through 1 or 2 areas for you and keep it to a minimum and get you a real good insight as to how it plays. Now it does look a little bit complex when you first look at this overstretched board. It looks a bit cluttered, but it'll all make sense shortly. Now, as in the overview, I was very impressed with the rules, and I'll go through that again. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. I love it, and there's literally 5 phases to this, and I'm going to get straight into it. So we've got 4 players. You decide the starting player of this token, let's just say blue. Each player's got 4 money, and the starting player is going to reveal. So phase 1, you're going to get income, so everyone's going to get a coin. So we've got a little bank down here. Now I'll go through all the rules and what we're doing as we go through, but so there we are. Each player is going to get 1 coin, which is phase 1, which is in the rules. 1 tailor it's called. Phase 2 is new column tokens. Now it's kind of like a grid, this whole board. You've got A, B, all the way up to L, which is the columns, and then you've got the rows. You've got the 5 rows, which are the eras, and we're starting off in the first era, which is where this token is. It hides these raw materials that become available as we go through, and we're in this row here, so these 2 technologies and these factories, and we're going to reveal 3, well, it's a 4-player game, so we reveal 4 of these tokens. In a 3-player game you'd reveal 3, and it does alter slightly in the last few rounds, it sort of says in the book. So we revealed 4 of these, and you can see they've got the letters to match up, and this kind of makes it transparent for everyone to understand what is going to be auctioned, because this is, majority of this game is an auction game. So what have we got? We've got A, D, K and H. Now A has a coin on it, which means everyone immediately gets another coin. It's not that much money in the game, so we've luckily got enough denominations to give that one. So the starting player then is here. They are currently the auctioneer. They start as auctioneer, and they get to decide. So this is phase 3, the auction. They get to decide which one of those 4 available they're going to auction. So what have we got then? So in this column and this row, we've got this stone material. So basically whoever has the highest bid for that, with a slight twist, I'll go through that in a minute, would have this. And you can use this as you go throughout the game to spend it to build one of these factories, or you can just keep it for the VPs at the end of the game. We've got D. Now there's this lovely sheet here that on the front gives you some of the links of how you're going to score at the end of the game, but it also has all the buildings and what they actually are, so I might as well use that here. So D, we have got, well, this is a multiplier. So this is a ×2 for the ports. Now anything connected to the rivers, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these ports, and they've all got multipliers. So if you manage to get all 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 times any factory that you have on the river, and you can see they've got outlines. So this one, this one, this one, and there's a host of others as well, this one here. So you'd have 8 times, say if you own this one, 8 times 2 will be 16 points at the end of the game. So D is auctioning one of these ports. H, where's H then? So that's this one. That's an iron ore mine. Now it's going to cost you 2 money, a wood, and you're going to get 2 victory points. And you can see it's connected to a road. So on here, this thing here sort of shows you how you're going to score roads at the end of the game. You can see the iron ore connects to this one here, and you're going to get 3 points for a connection if you own that one as well. Same for the technologies, but that will make sense later on when we are doing the scoring. K is one of the technologies. You're going to need this resource of stone. stone, and you're going to get 2 victory points. But more importantly, they connect. Now, what is that technology? Let's just have a look. That is construction. So in Era 1, we're developing construction, which doesn't actually mean a fat lot. It's just a way to get points. Some of these key buildings, you can see this one, you pay free money and it's going to let you produce wood, which is great, because whenever people need wood, they can buy it off you. Well, they kind of have to buy it off you for a coin. And if you can't get wood from there, you might want to go for this token. Or as you go through the rounds, wood, brick and stone become available after Era 1. So this player is going to decide to auction. Let's go. Now, there's a lot of strategy as to which one to go for first. They might want to go for one of the weaker ones that they don't actually want, and that'll make sense shortly. So this is probably one of the resources they might not really fancy, or maybe even this one, because it's only giving them victory points and it's only that 3-point connection. So let's just go H then. So they are auctioning H. Now, the player to the left, clockwise player, is going to decide what they want to bid. Now, let's just say they do want it and they bid 1. Well, you don't actually put the coins in, but they go 1, then it goes around to the red player. They're like, right, I'll up the bid. You have to up the bid or you pass. They're going to go 2. This player's going to go, right, I pass, and it goes back to the green player, and they're like, nah, that'll do 2. So the starting player now has an important decision to make. Are they going to let that red player, or the highest bidder, which in this case is red with the value of 2, have that building and they get the money from that player? So let's just assume that was the case. This 2 money from the red player would go to the blue player, which is massive because you are increasing your funds, which gives you more options to bid on things later on. Or, well, in that case, if that was it, the red player would put one of their tokens with the clock side face up, showing it's undeveloped, on that building. H is gone and you just turn it upside down. That is one option. What is the other option? The starting player could, so take it back to they've got their money. The starting player could decide that no, they don't want to let this player have it for 2 money. Instead, they will have it for themselves. And in that case, they pay 2 money and they go clockwise and they dish out whatever money. It could be 2, 5, 6, whatever the highest bid was. So they go 1 for the green player, go clockwise, 1 for the red player. And they get to put one of their tokens instead on that, and they then relinquish their right for the next auction. So they keep the starting player token, but now green would be the auctioneer and they get to choose one of these. Now you can already see that by relinquishing your right as auctioneer, because you really wanted this, you are giving up your auctioneer right, which means that that player can start acquiring money from other players if they wish to bid on things. Now I think as a first play they aren't probably really going to want that one, so they're going to take that money back and they're just going to take the 2 money from the red player. Sorry to confuse you, but that is the 2 options you have got. So the red player's bought it, that's flipped over. Now they don't actually have that property yet. It's undeveloped. They have to actually pay 2 coins and a wood. Later on, it's on one of the other phases to develop it and turn it over. So we just leave it there. We're in the auction phase at the moment. Now the blue player is still currently the auctioneer and they decide, right, let's go for K. So this player goes, nah, I'm not interested in that. Red sort of spent a bit of money, and orange goes, right. Now, if this player, orange, thinks that blue really wants it, they might just be sneaky and make an offer of, like, say, 4, because they know that the blue player's like, I really want that one, because say if it's later on in the game and they've got this one, and, you know, they had this one and they really want this one for the connection and the points, and it's got 5 points, then they might not just go 1, they might go 4. So let's just say in this example, this player's like, I think this player might want it, they're going to bid 3, so they say 3, blue's like, I really want that one. So they accept the offer, or they don't accept the offer, they refuse the offer, and they put one of their own tokens on it. And those 3 coins, it goes 1 to the green, 1 to the red, and 1 to the orange. Now, if they had have made, this player made the bid, and it was crucial that they made a bid of 3, really, because if they'd have made a bid of 2, they'd have gone a coin there and a coin there, and they wouldn't have managed to get a coin back from this player themselves. If they'd have said a bid of 4, then blue would have actually paid themselves a coin as well. So it's very strategical as to how much you put into the bid. So blue has purchased that one, and again, it's undeveloped. They keep the starting player token, and the auctioneer rights go to green. green now, and they've got a choice of A or D. Let's say they go for A because they want to get some money and then they want to try and auction this last and hopefully buy it for themselves. So they auction A. Red's like, yeah, go on, I'll bid 1. Orange is 2. That's very difficult playing this game just on your own, playing as 4 players. Blue's like, yeah, I really want that stone because I need to, use that stone to build this technology, because currently no one makes stone and stone isn't available from the bank yet, so they really need that one. So they've made a bid of 3, goes back round. Red's like, are they going to be sneaky and up it because they know that blue really wants it and all money is available to see in the game, and they know they've got 2, 4, 5, so you can't actually bid higher than the money you've got. You can take a loan in this game, which is nice. There you can get 3 extra money one time only, but that's minus 5 points at the end of the game. So they've got 5 money. Where are we? Let's say they've bid 3 and we're up to 4, and it's like, right, no one else wants to go higher than 4. Blue players like, right, if I have to pay 4 out, or green's thinking if I have to pay 4, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and they'll get a coin out of it. So you can see where the complexity comes into this auctioneering, and I absolutely love it. It's pivotal, and money is so tight that you really need to get that money at the right times from the right areas for things you don't want, because you don't let too many of these factories slip under your watch. So where were we? So blue's decided to bid 4 because they really need that stone. Green have decided to accept the offer, so all that money goes over to them. These guys get the blue token, that's turned over. Now you can see on these, I think they're called jokers, they don't actually need your token on it to develop it, because they're like extra resources you can just pinch over to. So these guys have took the money, they're still auctioneer, and there's only one left, D. So they put it to D. Now everyone's thinking, right, do I want to get into these ports because they're multipliers? Now you can see there's multipliers for ports there. You've got the oil pipelines, so anything connected to the oil lines are going to get multipliers for that. You've got the electric network, and these have multipliers of 3 as well. And then you've got these trains here, 1, 2, 3 of them, and any buildings of these little green symbols. So there's a host of things to go for, and don't forget all these roads can get you points as well. So red are going to bid 1, then we've got maybe these guys up it to 4 because they've got the money. Blue is passing because they've only got the 1 coin. Back to red, they can't actually go further than 4 unless they wanted to get one of these loans. So the bid stays with orange. Do they want to up the bid? Maybe they want to say, right, I'm going to up it to 6 because they might think green's got all this money. Do I want to oust them? So how much have these guys got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by the looks of it. Now they're thinking, right, if green does take it, clearly green's got more than 8, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everyone's going to get a coin back. So their bid of 8, they're actually going to get 2 coins back from it, meaning materialistically they're only paying 6. So maybe they're like, right, I'm going to bid 6 because I get a coin out of it. And so let's just go with that, and I'll show you a good example. So they're going to bid 6. Now clearly green is going to refuse because they really want this port, and green's like, yeah, I'm going to refuse your bid and I'm going to match your high bid of 6. So we've got 6 coins. So watch this, they're going to go 1, 2, 3, get 1 back themselves, 4, 5, 6. I took a coin too many there. So they managed to get 2 coins out of that deal, and they managed to avoid paying blue and green the extra coin. Now if they'd have gone too high and gone for 8, 9, 10 coins, maybe green just would have said, you know what, it's not worth it, you can have it, I've got 3 more to go for. These guys would have spent a lot of their money dishing out to their opponents, and they wouldn't have had the strength to buy other things later on. So in this case, green bought that. That goes there, that's turned over, and that is the end of the auction phase. We now go to development, and you just to clarify a few notes, you can bid on several things during the auction. So greens could have bought well, as you saw, actually blue bought something and they bought something else, so you can buy as many things as you can afford. We go over to development. Now in development, each player gets to develop a maximum of 2 things on anywhere on the board. Obviously we're only in era 1 at the moment, which basically means turning them over. So let's go through this then. So starting player blue, they really want to do this because once you change eras, it doesn't apply to the factories, but once this goes over to era 2, you can't then develop any more of these technologies, and they'd be undeveloped, which is slightly confusing, but that'll make sense shortly. So development, these guys are going to pay that stone. That's just out of the game. They turn that over to show it's developed, and they get 2 points straight away. And over here, everyone's got one of their colours to show their victory points, and that goes up all the way to 50 and beyond. So that's that one. Red is like, right, 2 coins. They're going to pay these 2 coins, and that goes to the bank. And they need a wood. Right, they haven't actually got a wood, interestingly. This one hasn't been built, and they can't buy it from the bank for a coin, so they can't develop that yet. Green, they can pay 1 coin, which they're going to do now, and that's developed. Now, you don't have to develop these. You could leave it till later on, but because you can only develop a maximum of 2 on a go, you don't want to kind of wait till here, because you might not have enough goes to do it. And equally, say, for example, this one that produces, is that brick? You want to get it produced so you can start charging other players to buy it off you. Right, so what happens in phase 5 is the starting player changes, so it goes clockwise. Green is the starting player, which also means they are the auctioneer to begin with as well. So in, say for example, it was with blue, and the auctioneer keeps going round and round because people kept giving up their right and buying it, it's kind of resets when it goes back after phase 5. So starting player and now the auctioneer, and we reveal another 4 because it's a 4-player game. And what have we got? We've got C, which is another port. We've got L. So you can see there's a bit of randomness as to what comes out when, which kind of really spices up the game, I find. So let's just get the sheet. So we've got another port. E is a clay pit, which literally just produces 2 VPs, but it's got many connections to roads, 3 connections. So if you end up getting that one, and this one, you're going to get 9 points, so 3 points for each road. And we've got I, which is the one that makes the stone, which is the quarry. And we've got another technology as well. So that quarry looks very tasty. Now, green, if they were to go, if they really wanted this one, why would they auction it first? Because they're going to end up not getting the chance to get everyone else's money. So they maybe want this one as well. And, you know, greens, they've already got one of them. And can they really oust? They've got 5 coins. Yellows have got a lot of money. Blue's a bit tight at the moment. So maybe they'll save that one as well. Maybe they'll just go for L. Now, if no one, I'll give you an example now then. This is where it can backfire because they really want to auction off all the crap, basically, that they're not interested in, to try and get loads of money to get one of these 2. But let's just say they go for L. Red's like, you know what, no, I don't want it, purely because they don't think they can get the wood in time to make it before the end of the era. Yellow goes, you know what, no, I'm not bothered. And blue equally says, I'm not bothered. So no one has bid, so that means green has to buy it. So green puts one of their undeveloped tokens, they don't pay anything for it, but most importantly, they lose their right to auctioneer. So it's actually backfired. Now the starting player token stays there, but red becomes the auctioneer. Now green is in a position where they're not going to get the money from the bids, and they're at the mercy of other players now. So red is going to either bid, well, let's turn L over. So they've got I, E and C. I'd probably say E is the least favourite of those, so they're going to bid E. And yellow is going to bid 1, why not? Blue's going to keep their money, they've only got 2. Green's up, they're going to pass, and red is the auctioneer, so they obviously can't bid on it, and the highest bid is 1, and red are just going to take the 1 coin from them and accept the offer. And yellow have very cheaply got a token out there under E. So finally we get to some of the bigger stuff, C and I, and red is still the auctioneer. They're going to bid off C, hoping that green go mad for this. Now yellow, they're like, right, I'm going to bid 2. They got loads of money. These guys are passing. These guys are like 4. And then it goes back and they're like, nah, I'm not going to bid on that. Greens are checking out how much money red have got, and they're thinking, right, if I go for a bid of 5 and they do accept it, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be the right amount, but they haven't actually got 7 to bid, so they're just going to bid 4. Let's just go, or did they bid 4? I can't remember now. So let's just go 4. And these guys are like, right, I will let you have it for 4, which is a big decision because they've already got one of the ports and the multipliers for 2. So they're going to take the money, so they've paid the 4 over to red, and these guys get to put a token there. That's that done. The red's still the auctioneer, they're going to go with I. And yellow's like, yeah, this is the one I want. I want to get in the quarry game. They're going to go straight in at 4. And they know these guys can't pay. They know these guys can't pay. So are they going to up it though? Because if it was 4, they would pay 1, 2, 3, 4. If they left it at 3, you go 1, 2, 3. But if they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they would get 2. They're going to go 5. So they bid 5. Now red has a tough decision. Are they going to go for that quarry, or are they going to let these guys get it? Now taking 5 would really give them a leap up. They've already got a lot of money there. And you know what? They're going to buy it themselves. They've got to keep their neck in the game, because that, throughout the game, if they build it quickly, you can see where everyone needs stone. We've got 1, 2, 3, where are we? 4, 5, probably a couple more. 5 by the looks of it, maybe a couple on here, 6. So each time someone needs that material, that player's getting paid 1 coin, which is great. It keeps them liquidated as you go throughout the game, which is massive because this money is very tight. So they're going to keep it for themselves. So they're relinquishing their right to the auctioneer, which is just the last one anyway. So they're paying 5 coins, and remember, it goes 1 to each of your other players. So 1, 2, 3. Get 1 back themselves, 4 and 5. So it only really costs them 4. And they get to put one of their guys on there. That's that one done. That is the auction phase, and we are over to the development. So I think it starts with the start player. So green, yeah, they're just going to pay 1 coin to do that. Reds kind of need to develop both, but there's still no wood in play. But they're going to develop that one for 3 coins. And that means they now make stone. Yellow is going to pay 3 coins. So you can see it's a tough decision as to whether to spend this 3 coins on literally just getting the 2 VPs now, or whether you really want to keep that for future auctions to really get some factories or connections or key buildings. So it's the economy is crazy in this game as to when you keep and spend that money. So spend 3, they get 2 victory points. So we up it on here. And where are we? Red. So red can't actually do that one. So everyone's done their development. They can't get the wood for that. So starting play passes to red. Now we should just have the remaining 4. So everyone kind of knows what's coming out now. So we've got J, which looks like a lumber mill or sawmill of some sort. We've got B and G. So let's just refer to the sheet. So we've got a wood material up for grabs. F is a brickworks, that's going to produce brick. J is, where are we, the sawmill. And then we've got another technology, which is engineering. So reds are going to auction off B. Yellow, I'm going to try and speed up here, folks, for you. So let's just say green's bid a maximum, yellow's bid a maximum of 3. No one else takes part. Reds want the money, so they take the money. Yellows get to put, well, they just take a resource, which was really frustrating for green because they needed that wood to be able to produce that, well, complete that before the era changed, but they've only had 1 money because they spent their money on other stuff. So, and you can't transfer these or sell them or negotiate them or anything. It's yours now. So they've got wood. These guys took the money. Hopefully I passed the money over correctly. And they're going to go with, let's go J. Oh no, J's the one they really want actually. Let's go F for the plastic works. So does anyone really need that? Yellows wouldn't mind it because it's a connection for 3 points. They can produce, they don't have to worry about wood just yet. Let's say yellow bid 4 on it, and red's like, you know what, you can have it. I'm just going to accumulate all your money. So I'm speeding this up, folks. Normally you'd go 1 by 1 and you'd figure out who was the highest bid. So they've taken that one. Yellow put one of their tokens on there. That's F. These guys are still at the auctioneers, and they are going to go for, so we've got J or G. Let's go for J. Yellows have basically got no money. Now this is a difficult, well, this gives red a key advantage now because they've kind of drained everyone of their money, but obviously in most games each player's got their own mind and they're thinking at what time to spend, so this isn't really that good a representation. But let's just say blue's max offer was 2, no one else was bidding, and reds are like, yeah, we will happily take that for 2. They pay 1 there and 1 there, and reds get this one here. And then the auctioneer passes to yellow. Yellow get to auction G. And blue is like, yeah, I'll bid 2. They pass, these guys bidding 3. Yellows accept it, so free money goes there. Reds have managed to get that one as well. So you can see reds have been accumulating this money, but this money then flows back out to other players at some point. You can't hold that money forever, otherwise you won't get the buildings, and you might affect the economy, to be fair, but other people will end up getting stuff cheap as well. So I love that mix of the balance of power as players get certain amounts of money in certain factories at the right time. So that is the end of an era. Now we've done the auctioning, we've got to do the development. So red decides, okay, let's pay. Does anyone actually make wood yet? They do there. So they're going to spend the free money to build the wood. They can then use their own wood. So they've developed one thing, so they paid 2 more money, and they make the wood resource. So they can turn that over and get 2 victory points, and that's their 2 development max. They can't actually do this one. They're going to have to wait another turn. Green wood is now available, so green can pay their final coin, which they really must do because the era is about to change. They pay that to reds because they produced the wood, which is great. Turn that over, and they've done it in time. Reds can't do any more. Yellows, they can now do the wood, so they pay that wood to the red player. The stone, does anyone produce stone? Oh, red produced stone as well. So you can see red's already making the most of that. And they needed to pay 2 money to the bank, if I haven't already done so. And now they make plastic, which is going to start, paying dividend, not plastic, brick. That's going to start paying dividends later on. So that's everyone's development. We are over to, where are we? Change the era, was it? Or change the start? No, change the starting player. I'm just going to check the rules here again. This is our first era change. So yeah, new starting player changes, so it's over to yellows. They've still got that wood resource. Now we change the era, and that's literally the era, folks. You put all these back in the bag, so let's do that. And I'm going to give you one more round, shall we say, because I've been blabbing on long enough here, and then I'll go for endgame scoring. So what happens now then? So these are now visible, so they become available. So people, if no one had produced wood, stone or brick, they could buy it from the bank for 1 coin, but you have to instead buy it from people who produce it. So currently all those resources, frustratingly for the players who don't own them, are being made. So these yellows are going to get a coin for that, and red is in a nice position to get stone and wood for that. You then, starting player literally brings out another 4 of these, and we continue again. So again, the order is varied, which is great. Now at this stage, you've usually got your eye on certain things you want. Green at the moment have got these ports, so they're like, right, in this round, I'm really waiting for G to come out, maybe, because you can see not only does it make glass, but it's on the river, it's got a blue line. Or maybe they're waiting for this one or some more ports. So this is where people are starting to really think what it is they want on the factories. Now at first, this game looks really, as I said initially, quite complex, but as you really start getting into it and involved, you can see, it all kind of makes sense, and it's actually quite nice to look at, I find, after a few games of playing it. So we are over to yellows, who are auctioneers, and we'll do one more round for you then. So what are they thinking? So are they going to do G, which now you're in this row and still the same column? So this is the glassworks, which, who did we say want? Green might want that one, but they've got no money, green, so what's going on? They might have to get a loan. We've got F, which is, is it the stock market at the bank? It looks like a bank to me. Yes, that's the bank. So this one gives you a reduction of -1 from all costs. So if you have to build, say, this one on future ends, rather than 3, it's going to cost you 2. So a very nice one to engine build early on. We've got C, which is another port. Green haven't actually got any money yet, so they might really want to auction that one off now, or maybe the player wants to wait till green gets some money because they know green are going to bid high, so then that money flows from green to other players. So there's a whole load going on here. And we've got L, we've got some more, which technology is that? We've got a steam engine, and green might want that as well because it's connected. So green really want all of these, but they're in a difficult position because they've got no money. I'm going to call it there, folks. I could go on forever with this, but essentially you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go through auction those 4, then bring out next 4. That ends an era. You bring this down, these resources become available, and then you can see as you go along, all various resources become available until you get to the end. Once you've auctioned off absolutely everything, you are going to tally the scores. Now, money is worth, I believe it's 3 coins to a point. This is how you're going to do the roads. So red, you can see if you owned this basically just highlights where the roads are. So if you've got this one and this one, you're going to get 3 points for the connection. If you're the same, yellow owns that. Equally same for there. You've got some roads here. So one, if you have all 4 of these, you're going to get 12 points. So 3, 3, 3, 3. You've got some more one little road, sneaky road there, and a road here and here. The technologies are equally the same. You've got these guys connected, so 3 points for each connection. So that's how you get some points. Now over to the juicy stuff. It is these multipliers. So literally, I'm just going to randomly dish out a few of these to just give you an idea. Now this is pure random, folks, but let's have a look what we got. Try and speed it up for you. So obviously the whole board would be full of tokens, and you would remove any tokens that have this clock symbol because you didn't have time to develop them. More fool you. So you take all them off and you're left with everything you need to score. So you've already done your scoring throughout the game for these, these 2s here and these 3s. That's already done as you go through. You're now making connections. So we've done all the scientific symbols. All these get 3 points. We've done the roads. So we're off to the multipliers now. So we start with the ports. So let's just say green managed to get all 4 of them. That'll be 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 times any of these blue buildings. So let's just say green had this one and this one. 8 times 2 buildings is 16 points. Amazing. We then go over to the oil lines, and you've got red had the 2 and the 3. So that's times, or is it 5 or 6? I can never remember. Let's just say it's times 6. The 3 times the 2 is 6. Times the, what we're looking at, oil lines. So red managed to get an oil line here. You can see that oil line goes into it, and that's a train one. So it'd be 6 times the 1. I might be miscalculating. It might be 5 times the 1, but either way, 5 or 6 points, that's what you would get. And if you can see how that can quickly accumulate if these multiplied by 3s, and if you had more oil lines. Next you've got the electric ones. So blue's got a 2 and a 3, and then you multiply that by anywhere where you can see we've got that one's connected, that one's connected, you got one here, one there, and one there. They're all connected with these electric lines, so you can connect those. And finally, you've got the train station. So again, 2, 2, and 3. If you had all 3 of them, that is amazing. You can see these little green symbols, so that's connecting. Now some of them are connected to both, so that's got a blue outline for the river, and it's got the green train. Some of them, there's a green train and the electric and the blue, so it's got all 3 and the road. So you can see how valuable some of these can be for making connections and points at the end of the game. And I think that's pretty much all the trains. Is one out here as well. You add up all the points from the connections, you would deduct any points for these -5s you've had, and you add on any points if you did keep any of these resources and didn't spend them for 2 points. And that is it, folks. Hopefully you followed me along with that one. I absolutely adore this game because of that tight auction mechanic. Each coin, honestly, it's just so valuable, and it's that constant decision making as to when are you going to put your money in and really go for something you want. And if you haven't quite sort of got these blue buildings maybe, or you've gone for all these ports early on, but people keep ousting you for the blue buildings, it's kind of negated your whole plan. Whereas some people are sneaky and they're getting, the road connections you haven't quite cottoned on, and you have to keep an eye on this sort of layout to see what there is. Some people might start getting these ones that are connected to the oil and then really going hard trying to get the oil multipliers at the end. So there's a lot going on. I do find in this game that near the end of the game it becomes insufficient as to really what you want. You're producing, what have we got, where's the computer one? Well, one of them produces computers, and you got this chip here that is so valuable because you need this chip to produce this one, and making chips is very hard. And you're like, right, at the end it's critical because some things you spend your money on, you don't really get, you've got very limited time to actually get them developed. So a lot going on. I really like this game, and it does play in that typical hour and a half to 2 hour mark. It's got that sort of set collection vibe with that strong auction mechanic. There we are, folks. Try this if you see it in the street.